HSBC have recently carried out some interesting and frankly revealing research on the lack of preparedness on the part of UK parents for the costs of education. Just listen to some of these facts. More than 70% of parents contribute towards the cost of a child's education, including their higher education. That will not surprise any of you out there who are in fact parents. They also state that a quarter of UK parents regret not saving earlier for a child's education. And 1 in 5 who do save say they wish they'd saved more. Say they thought about the cost of education before their child started primary education, and almost half who were paying said they didn't have a clue actually how much they were paying. Now, primary, let's not underestimate the nature and the extent of the cost of education. HSBC state that for those who are in paid for education, and bear in mind all higher education is paid for, primary, secondary and tertiary education can cost in total around £128,000 according to HSBC. So what does all that mean? It means that there is a large community of individuals out there, basically parents and grandparents, who would perhaps even welcome the conversation about the costs of education, to be educated on the costs of primary, tertiary and higher education at an earlier stage. There's a real role for financial planners here, even just to have that conversation without actually recommending or doing anything. Just having the conversation, educating their clients could make an enormous difference. But what is likely to result from that is the desire to want to do something for those, of course, who have the means to be able to do something, who are largely going to form a large part of your client base. And the means available to you, fairly simple means of tax-effective saving, are probably well known to you in their component parts. We've of course got the junior ISA where you can save over £4,000 a year. You've also got, for those who don't like the idea that the child can gain access to that money at age 18, you've got very effectively the means to hold collectives inside the right type of trust to minimise or in fact avoid, legitimately I would say avoid, capital gains tax and fully access the child's personal income tax allowance if you're a grandparent settlor or a grandparent provider of the funds. Lots of ways to provide for children. Simple savings means that people may decide to lock into, maybe even whole families would, instead of buying another Paw Patrol piece of paraphernalia, why not put some money into a children's ISA, junior ISA. The child may not thank you for that, but later on they may do when the power and excitement connected with Rubble or one of the other characters has faded. So have a good think about that. There's a lot of detail on this subject in Techlink. In fact, we wrote a recent bulletin on it, so go there and have a look under Education for Children or Funding for the Costs of Education.